What's going on, guys? It's DigiWatch TCG coming to you with another market watch, and today we're going to be going over the last couple of sets, some cards I feel have fluctuated, or some things I might consider picking up, or at least telling you that you should take a look at and consider picking up for upcoming formats. So with that said, please like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts below, and let's get into it. So starting off, yay, we got a new Davis. Well, not a new Davis, we got a reprint Davis. This is from the starter deck Jessamon, and if you don't know, every time you buy one of these starter decks 12 or 13, which is a Jessamon, a Ragnar Lordmon, it comes with 6 Tamers, and one of those Tamers is a reprint Davis. Now, Davis was going for about $20 at the time of this, like prior to this release over here, where now it is probably a little cheaper. I think I did take a look at it a little earlier, and it was around like the $8-9 mark, around the same price as this Davis here. And yeah, for 780, that's not bad. But keep in mind, Jessamon deck and the Ragnar deck are something going for, I think it's like for $14-15. And even if you buy it on here, it's like half the price. So just for getting the deck, this is half the price of buying a full deck. If you get a full deck and you're going to get the other Tamers, you're going to get the Izzies, you're going to get the Kens, which may end up being something later down the line. This is pretty interesting, pretty good to pick up in my opinion, just buying the starter decks. You could probably sell the regular decks to your friends and keep the alternate arts for yourself, hopefully being able to make some deals with them. Or you can essentially take a look here and just buy them as singles. So that is that. That's what I want to say about that. Now, going into our most recent set, Cross Encounter BT10, I wanted to take a look at what the alt arts are doing and kind of take a look over the last couple of weeks. So I'm not going to go into every single card, just the ones I found I have been tracking, have been looking at. And the first one is the Jessamon GX. So this artwork is amazing, by the way. I really love it. It's actually one of my favorite artists, As Maria. I know that was a really great card. And by the way, if you don't know, with these cards, if you look in the corner of these cards, if you turn it sideways, it has a little pen mark and it has a little name next to it. That's the artist who drew this and conceptualized this. And I really give attention to that because these cards, like, this is the reason why these altar arts are worth collecting, in my opinion, is holding on to these different artists' cards, especially if you're a fan of the artists themselves. I wish actually TCG could separate these cards one day by the actual artists who made them. But yeah, as we can see here, over the last month, starting when we had the pre-release, it was around $80, and then it just trickled down to about what it is now, about the $37, $38, $39 mark. It is played usually between 1 and 3 copies, depending on the version of Jessamon you're playing. And from what the locals and the online play have seen, this deck does see some play and is expected to be a high-ranking deck. However, I feel like right now people have been looking for other alternatives to be able to swing over or defeat the Jessamon deck, and it's kind of getting toppled, especially right now with like Grandis Kawagamon. So some people are a little hesitant on this, but this is the secret rare from Cross Encounter, and I do think it'll hold its price at least at around the $40 mark. I think that's worth it. It is a staple and like one of the most important Digimon in that line. It's kind of the end of the story, if I am not mistaken, for Jessamon GX in terms of lore. Now, the other one I wanted to take a look at was the Sukuyamon, and this is a really amazing art for approximately the same price. We can see it did have a little bit of a dip, and that's because a lot of people have been experimenting with yellow control decks, red-yellow decks, things that are pretty much going to be able to counter a lot of the OTKs. Well, I forgot the name of the option. My God, it's escaping me now. Sunrise Buster is one of the cards that you most always play with this deck, but you could also play this in a regular Sukuyamon build. And this artwork is just amazing in my opinion. I think it is really one of my favorite artworks out of the set as well. Other than the next one I'm going to talk about real quick is the Venusmon. Now, Venusmon actually at one time was the most expensive card in this set, and for obvious reasons. But basically, it did fall off. It went down to about the $30 mark. Hopefully, it won't fall anymore, because I really do think that this card is going to see some good amount of play, especially with security control decks. You can't opponents, Digimon cannot attack it, because if they have a security effect on it, they can't attack the card. And also, Digivolving and one Digivolving effects do not occur. So if there will be no way to really be able to for example, play against Chessmon, they won't be able to do multiple attacks, swing over Venusmon, or anything like that. But I really do think this is an amazing artwork. Definitely another favorite from the set. Looking at another one over here, I did want to kind of quickly look at Bloomlord. So Bloomlord is interesting to me personally because next set we do get Hydramon and Bloomlord becomes a deck, and that is really going to be within 2 or 3 weeks from now. So I would get these while they're getting cheaper and cheaper because they were at one point around the $50 mark, and I really think it's worth picking these up sooner than later. Only because, again, first off, the artwork is really good. It is really nice. Actually, like, I'm not a green player at all, but I honestly loved this was one of the first alt arts I actually pulled from the boxes that I got, and wow, like, I was like, I don't know if I want to get rid of this card. I mean, I'm not a green player, but wow, this is amazing artwork. So like I said, next set, this is used a lot more. Bloomer becomes a very, very scary deck in the next, when Dragon's Roar comes out with Hydramon. We do see it for about $26, $27, so I'll get these now before more comes out for the next set. Just overall, let's just taking a look at some of the others. The Altar for Sigmon Seal, $24, $25, not bad. Shoutmon X5, $20. I feel like this is where I expected it to be. Jesmon GX, the regular version, also about the $20 mark. This I feel like the Beelzemon alternate art, I just want to mention, I feel like this is a very underrated card. Not because it is used right now, but because of its future potential. If you don't have yours already, I would consider picking up a playset of these, just so that you are ready if you do want to play Beelzemon with this deck in the future. Other things to mention is the Shoutmon X5, probably the most expensive super rare in the set. It's probably a very hard card to get. I think I cracked about 4 boxes, and it took 4 boxes to get a playset of this. Not intentional to get them, and I'm not really playing Shoutmon as my main deck, but just to collect the 4 copies of it, wow, it was like super hard. Plus, I got an alternate art version, which was kind of nice. Looking at everything else, Shoutmon King version really got hit as the regular version, $3. Wow. Box toppers are all about the same, about $2 or $3 per copy. If you're looking to get U or copies of U for the upcoming set in BT11, U is a very strong main tamer that you do use with the Bagra army strategy, so you may want to get your toppers now. All the other ones within cents, dollars, but don't worry, they will start to pump up. This is why, by the way, if you look at it, Bloomlordmon is still $2 compared to everything else. Really low value. Then Minervamon $2, Bloomlord $2, Nene $2. Some super rares being Sequoiamon Maid Mode $4. Not that bad overall. Let's keep going because we have a lot to cover. Death Xmon. We're gonna go look at the both versions over here. You can see there is a little bit of a difference. This is probably the most expensive secret rare copy of cards I've ever seen. I would definitely sell one of these if I have an extra copy, which I do. But I would definitely sell this for $110. Absolutely. Make your money back. You basically get a free box if you sell your Death X. And if you're not planning on playing it. But keep in mind, this is a very, very good card. And if you are going to be playing it in deck, then I would just definitely consider picking it up. I don't think this is up for a reprint. I know there was a reprint set announced, which I'll get into some of the cards when I talk about them later. But yeah, that would be my suggestion. Now, Agumon X Antibody had a huge spike a while ago. I don't know where exactly that showed here. But yeah, it was like about $40. Now it's about $22. I think this is fair. I still feel like this is going to be played at least till BT11, until we get our other black Agumon coming out, Agumon X Antibody, that version of it. But this can also be splashed in as a red version of the card as well. So things to consider, definitely. Magnamon X. Why do I bring this up? Well, you see it's all the way down here, and it has a little bit of an slight increase in price. And part of the reason I think why is because there are some decks that are playing this, and I personally am playing this in my version. And definitely keep in, I will be posting a deck profile a little later down the line, but I play this in my blue flare deck. The X Antibody option plus the X Antibody Magnamon. This is a really good option to go into your megas for, because your megas are really like something that you can experiment with. You could use options instead if you really wanted to. But if you want a couple of level 6s, these are very strong defensive art possibilities. Not only that, but if you're playing against like a deck like Grandis, the Grandis has to swing into this, and because it does not delete a Digimon, it will say your Digimon will be saved, and you could put this to the top of your security and potentially not even die to your opponent's stuff. And against shout decks, this card is just amazing. They almost have no way of getting out of this unless they are able to get over it somehow with like a Sunrise Buster or something like that. But they would have to waste a bunch of cards to get rid of this. So keeping that in mind, this is a very, very strong card. It is out of X record, and it was overlooked for quite a bit, but I think people are starting to get on board with it again because, as you can see, it did have a little bit of an increase in price right when BT 10 came out. So it's been trickling up. I would consider picking your copies up before this goes any further up there. This makes me sad, truly sad. I don't know really why this is as low as it is. But I do like, oh, well, there we go. You got one person selling it for very cheap. Then you have about $10. This is why you never trust the first price up here. You always go down a little bit to see what everything is selling at. So you see this going for about $11. It's consistent, and partially it's because this is a very, very strong counter to a lot of the different decks from BT10. BT10, and depending on like who you're facing, and this deck, like it's really good. Like it bounces the top level Digimon your opponent has, and because you even are playing this against stuff like Shoutmon decks, you're able to get rid of their level 4s or level 5s, and everything falls off. Keep in mind that all their effects occur when they're being deleted, not when they're being bounced. So all their Digimon just fall off if they're somehow like don't pass turn or something like that, or they do pass turn for any reason. Cool Boy, still the most expensive card in this set, and still will be played in the next couple of formats. So make sure you have at least one set of play copy for Cool Boy. Grandis, alternate art, $6.50. Let me tell you something really funny about this. Grandis Koagumon was the first alternate art I pulled for BT9. It was the actual first art, and I got Gabumon X as my second art in my first box I pulled, and I traded it off. And you know how much it was? It was $50. I traded it off for a Gaiomon alternate art. And I'm glad I did, because long-term value, I won. But this here, wow, $6-7. Grandis is a very strong deck right now, honestly, and I'm not sure what people are looking to do, if they're looking to hold off until EX3 and play the Bloom Lord, but Grandis is winning a lot of tournaments, so if you are looking to bling out your deck, you may want to consider picking these up now, unless they do go back up again, because they've been trickling down, but I really have a feeling that they will start to go up, and as you can even see here, they are starting to slightly go up, so it may start to sell a little higher. Looking at some of the collector cards here, wow. Alphamon alternate art, $850, and we have 12 listings here. So, I mean, I feel like these cards, I'm going to go over this one in the Omnimon over here. As you can see, Omnimon is twice the price here, and it's because it's, like, obviously the franchise, like, mascot. You definitely know this Digimon, and with the artwork and the colors of blue and red and orange over here, this is just gorgeous. I wish I had pulled one of these. Hopefully, maybe one day I'll buy, like, a lot of BT6, maybe if Three Musketeers get big again. But, yeah, you can see, like, Alphamon is not as popular, so it is staying as a little bit lower. The artwork, though, is really good. If you're a Alphamon fan, if you're an X-Antibody fan, definitely something to pick up. But if you're looking just to save, you know, hopefully you could always, like, buy a box and say flip a coin, see if you get it, or buy a case and see if you can get it. Honestly, that was how one of my friends, my locals, actually got it. He bought a box. Bought a case. He'd saved in store credit up for a while, and he was just able to pick up the case, and he got the Alphamon from the case. I think it's something like 1 every 3 or 4 cases, so not very hard to get, but you do have to shell out the money. So hopefully cases will go down a little bit, and you can get those instead. So let's go past this. Really quickly talking about Jessamon. These are the Event Pack 3. I wouldn't get these right now, honestly. Event Pack 3 just started in terms of events, and we haven't had many events, so I feel like these are going to keep going up. And if you pull these, though, I would definitely try to sell them ASAP. Make your money. Like, you pull it, you sell it. That's honestly what I would do right now. But I guarantee you, the more we go into Event Pack 3, they're going to follow the same trend that they did with the Jesmon. They're going to eventually be something like $20, $21. So definitely consider selling these if you have them, but I would not consider buying them if you are a buyer. And playing Jesmon, maybe. Just showing Beelzebub is lower now. It was at around $70, $80. Now it's at $66, and it probably will go down a little unless a future sport is mentioned in it, but nothing right now. And by the way, if you didn't know, we're going into Double Down. We're going by set, by the way, if I didn't mention it before. System Blanc, surprisingly, is a lot lower for the deck than I expected. It was going for around the $36, around the same price that Seal is going for. I think I'll show that next, but it's been trending down. I'm not really certain why. It is still played like at 2 in the Jesmon deck, so not 100% certain. You can see Seal here, though, is still like pretty high. It's like $38, $39. Plenty of listings over here. For the 2 here, honestly, if Jesmon ends up not being as great a deck, which I doubt, I still think it has a lot of meta potential. I really think that these are going to drop if the deck does fall off. And in that case, I would pick them up when they drop. I wouldn't get them right now. Madoki Betamon from the set of the Lucky Pack from the premium sets. Good value, $16. It was 4, went up to 21, 22. I think it's going to settle right around the $15 mark, as you can see here. I think that's where it's going to end up being. Floodgates are always used, and I do definitely think if blue sees a resurgence, this may consider going up. So there's that. Another thing out of the premium deck sets was the Fly Bullet. It was around the $30 mark initially when the decks were kind of released. It's been going down since. We see a $15, $16 here. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes down to about 10, but I don't see it going into the singles. I think this is going to stay in the double digits between $10 and $20. Judgment of the Blade, just kind of comparison. It's $5 here. Like, if you're gonna get your playsets, you can just buy them online. You do play 1 to 2 copies in just one sometimes. Sometimes you don't, but this is a really good card to have. Just at least as a collector. Speaking of Huckmon over here, I did want to mention there is one person selling it at 37 cents. So if you're looking to get it, buy it. But $3, $4 for this card, I think you should sell yours if you have them. Going a little forward here, I did open up a tab for promos. I don't know if I did pick up specific ones. We'll go over those specific ones in a second. As you can see, there's not really much happening in the promo market, in all fairness. These are the ones I kind of wanted to mention for Deltamon. So Deltamon is one of the cards you can attempt to use in the BT11 format later down the line in February. And these are, I think, the only cards you get when you get BT9. You get a box topper, and you can buy 4 of these for essentially around $60. Or you could try getting a couple of different boxes and pick up Deltamons or trade with your friends. But basically, you're trying to pick these up. These are $15 a piece. It's because when you go into BT11, you get Black Metal Greymon support where you can Digivolve for 2 less, and that allows you to go into your Metal Greymon that's dual color, or even your Chimeramon if you're still playing that, for only 2 costs instead of 4. So you may want to consider picking that up. Another card to mention is the Red Memory Boost, though I'm going to make this my memory boost for the week. But yeah, you can see over here, it is trending down. And I feel this is slightly because we did get I think it's called Rising Wind, the name of the set, and it comes out at some point in the future. It is a reprint set, so some of these cards may see a reprint down the line. And this was a box topper for BT7, and right now BT7 is not really opened up too much, so this might be on the chopping block for the revision pack. If that's the case, then this price is going to go down. It is seeing play right now in Jesmon, Black or Greymon, decks like that, but there is a budget version available. And if you're not sure if you want to spend the money to get this, if you're not like a collector in some case, then you may want to just consider holding off and getting the cheaper version. Um, a Kuwamon, sorry, $15. Like I said, I think that this format we're gonna see a lot of green. We're gonna see a lot of the Grandis Kawagamon decks that are playing in tournaments because they are running over a lot of decks in BT 10. So this might be considered picking up, or again, you can chance your draws when you get BT 9 box toppers. This I would consider getting now. Where has fallen off. I'm not exactly sure why. I feel like Where X or Metal X is still a very valuable deck to be played in the BT 10 meta, but it is going for $7, and I think it's because a lot of people have kind of just dropped Metal X. They're like, okay, well, it's too slow compared to what we play right now, Digicross and whatnot. But I disagree with that. I feel like there's a lot of potential in Where still. You can still OTK. I've OTK'd every deck I've played with Metal Garurumon, unless I misplay. And sometimes it's more to see if it was the right play. Like sometimes I'll intentionally go the opposite direction when I'm playing and say like, should I Digivolve into Garurumon or should I play the Tamer out or play this? And then I get my answer by getting my butt handed to me, or I get my answer by getting rid of all their security and all their resources on the field. So that's something to keep in mind. Grandis, just another promo card to mention. You do have to use this in the Grandis build. You Digivolve for 3, Digiburst 2, gets +1 security, then you Digivolve into the Grandis Kawagamon. Very low right now, so if you're looking to play the deck, this is probably the best time to get it. Almost done, guys. We're taking a look at some other stuff, and then we're going to be good. So I did want to take a look at EX2, and see what's happening in the market. And I feel like I predicted this. I was saying that the yellow support, the Sukuyamon and Rika, were holding its price around the $30 to $5 mark. It is slightly lower, as you can see over here, about $27 for Rika, about $30 for the Sukuyamon, and yeah, it has plenty of listings up there, and I don't think it's going to go down anytime soon. I think Sukuyamon is surprisingly a very powerful deck. I actually have been testing it. I tested against the security control deck, and I was recovering more than they were, believe it or not. Being able to recover, being able to play the new black option, the one that gives you reboot and blocker, is really powerful. There was a combo I did where I had 2 Rikos on the field. I swung, Digivolved into Sukuyamon, tapped the 2 Rikas to play into 1 copy of the black one, which basically gives you reboot blocker. Then it goes to the top of your security stack, and it has a really amazing effect of when it hits, you get to look at the top 3 and play a level play cost of 3 or less, or 4 or less from them. And then I played what was the other one? My goodness, the white option, the one that gives you 3,000. So it made my Sukuyamon 14. And I was able to swing in with 14,000 that doesn't get to reboot blocker. So I had a 14,000 DP blocker on my end on my turn, which was really powerful. Digimon max rarity, you play this in the red yellow security control for $30. And again, these are all alt arts. You may want to consider picking this up too. The Iron Mako. Oh, actually, it's really interesting here is the War Growlmon here is $8. This is the winner's pack one, so that's actually pretty cool to see there. Nothing else relatively crazy over here. We have the new Tamer Party cards over here, $15 a piece, but there's only 1 listing on each, so I wouldn't necessarily buy those. But yeah, this is still a really good set in my opinion. Getting 3 alternate arts or secret rares, and these ones, Beelzemon cards, are probably going to be holding value later down the line too. Finally, we're going to take a look at BT8, and I have a few cards on this and suggestions to get up. Now, Blackrock Greymon is going to be played as an anti-meta deck this format, as well as being used in future formats, especially when X Antibody Blackrock Greymon comes out in BT11. So this is going for $63, and it's just been climbing up. We had that when we heard initially that Blackrock Greymon was coming out for BT11, it did spike from its $30 mark to about the $50 mark, and now it is kind of back up there because we see some tournament results. We see that Blackrock Greymon is actually doing very, very well. So definitely a consideration to pick up. I know that this might be one of my national level decks. I haven't tested BT11 stuff yet, but just knowing how the cards play and watching the test matches of other players online, seeing like, oh, okay, you go into this one, oh, okay, you do this, is really good. And also, like, again, the current status of our format is uh, like a lot of tamers and rushing strategies. So Black or Greymon is a very good counter to that. We have Magnamon, really, really low, $25. I think this is a valuable price. I think this is acceptable. You want to chance it being a little bit less than you could, but I definitely think $20 is absolutely fine to pick up. Chimeramon. You missed your chance if you were looking to pick these up earlier because they're going for about $28. And if we look at the regular Chimeramon over here, it's going for about $16. So for about $10 more, you're getting the alternate art. I definitely think that's considered worth it rather than the super rare. I mean, it might just be worth it to pick up a box and like you pull like one or two Chimeramons, you pretty much pay for half the box just from those two. And if we look at like the whole street of New Awakening, let's just quickly go there. We do have like the strongest card being $63, Ofani 33, Chimeramon 28, and then like I showed you before, $20 for the Magnas and stuff like that. You won if you got this from your box topper. Melgreymon over here is probably the coolest looking one. I will hope to get eventually 4 of these. I'm looking to probably trade with other people, see if I can get 4 copies of this, because I definitely don't think it's worth picking up like 5 or 6 boxes unless you're getting a case of the 25th anniversary pack. But if you can get like a full-on like collection of these, at least 2 of each, I feel like that's a win in my book. I personally have like I finished my first set of it. I'm trying to get a second set of it, just to have a full thing of like all the different arts. But I definitely think the 25th anniversary special here, this is like really really good. Like if we look at the other ones, by the way, I'm just gonna throw this up here, and I know this is getting a little bit longer. Let's get rid of the Metal Greymon. We're just looking for the other text in here. So we're going to backspace scope, and we see over here we have yeah, like you see like this one is definitely like a winner, and then essentially everything else here is like less than $1, $2, $3. So yeah, unfortunately nothing else is really hitting the same mark that the metal is, and I feel like this because this one is the main one that you use. The metal gray is like the one that's more competitively used, and everything else is kind of just like a fun card to have. But you never know, like if they announce something, some of these other alternate arts can go up, which I always like to hold multiples of. So yeah, and then lastly, out of BT 8 is Rapidmon alternate art. So this was at one point going for $40, and I feel like this is still a very very strong card. Just having Armor Purge is one thing, but being able to suspend up to 3 of your opponent's Digimon and then minus 5,000. I mean, we do have cards coming up in the future that are going to be dual color blue and green, and even though maybe it doesn't necessarily fit in the deck all the time, these could be things that you want to try out. This could be something that you want to hold on to for later down the line. I mean, if they have a Magnamon X, they may have a Rapidmon X down the line. I'm not sure about Digilore if there is one, but this is something that they can always make another copy of, or if they're playing like a full-on different Rapidmon version, I definitely would consider picking these up down the line. So that's my picks for today. I hope it was helpful for you guys. I know that I'm excited for all the new Digimon product that's being released. Tell that to my wallet too. But I love these cards that are coming out, especially with the Black or Greymon support being announced. And I hope this was very helpful for you today. Anyway, that's it. Have a good day, guys.